Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Heber Valley Mountain Weekend Show. I'm here with Station Master and Executive Director of the Heber Valley Railroad. We have with us Mark Nelson. How are you, sir?
Good.
Okay, so you've been with the railroad for a couple of years. Give us a little bit of the history of this, also known as the Heber Creeper, the actual train, right?
Right, that's right. So the Heber Valley Railroad really started in 1899 when the Denver Rio Grande Railway built a spur from Provo here to Heber. And that operated under the Denver Rio Grande direction until the late 1960s. And then in 1970, a privately owned tourist railroad was started called the Wasatch Mountain Railway, home of the Heber Creeper. And that operated until 1989. And then in 1992, the state of Utah formed the Heber Valley Historic Railroad Authority, what we have today.
Wow. Well, this is such an iconic fixture of the Heber Valley and really of Utah. When you come out here, it kind of takes you back in time a little bit. Tell me about the atmosphere here.
Okay, thank you. We really try to make everything that we do kind of capture that nostalgia and that magic of steam locomotives and railroads that existed around the turn of the century. Most of our rail cars and the other things we do are in that period of 1900 to 1930.
So tell me about the trains that we have here. We have one right behind us. Another one earlier just took off, right?
Yes, so we are our 11 a.m. Provo Canyon Limited left a few minutes ago. Behind us is an old 1900 steam locomotive that originally operated down in Springville as a switch engine, moving cars around for many, many years.
Very cool. And then along with that, you mentioned the one that just took off. Tell me about the journey, the actual track. Where does it go?
Okay, thank you. So we have 16 miles of track approximately, and it goes down through the beautiful Heber Valley with all the lush farmlands. And then it goes around the shores of Deer Creek Reservoir, past Soldier Hollow, where the 2002 Winter Olympics were held, and then goes down Provo Canyon and kind of snakes its way along the Provo River to Vivian Park.
And what I love so much about this experience is that it's not just you go one time, then you're done. You have different themed rides, like all during the year. Give me an overview of that.
Okay, so yes, we have our regular scenic trains during the day, but we also have many special event trains. For example, on Friday nights, we have all kinds of different themed trains that are kind of oriented to date nights. For example, in the winter and fall, when it won't melt, we have a chocolate lovers train every month.
What is this? I need to be on that next time. That sounds so great.
Yeah, it is, and very popular. We have a cheese tasting train. In recent weeks, we've had a Taylor Swift train with a Taylor Swift doppelganger on board.
Yeah, well, guys, not the real one, because I mean, she looks pretty similar, and you guys had her here.
Yep, it's pretty good. Yeah. And we have a number of other themes: a cowboy train, we have masquerade trains, mustache trains, all kinds of crazy things like that.
Who's thinking of these things? A mustache train? That's crazy.
Well, you know, those kinds of trains are really appealing to not only visitors but residents of the Wasatch Front, and they need a reason to come up and ride this old train, and so let's have some fun.
Yeah, no kidding. And then tell me about what you have going on during Christmas sometimes. This is kind of magical.
Okay, so the North Pole Express is our biggest event of the year, and it runs from the day after Thanksgiving until Christmas Eve. During that short 30-day period of time, we will have 70 North Pole Express trains. They'll all be sold out, and they'll have 450 people on them, each one.
That is incredible, and that really speaks to the love that people have, not only locals, but tourists and people coming through, that they're like, man, we need to make that part of our experience here in the Heber Valley.
Yes, and the North Pole Express is really magical. The little kids love it, and last year we had lots of snow, so that was great.
That is. Mark, tell me more about your special events you guys have coming up. You have a lot of annual ones, right?
We do. We have some great special events that are really popular. For example, in June, near the end of June, we always have Dinosaur Days, which is, again, really popular with the little kids. And for kids of all sizes, around Harry Potter's birthday every year, we have the Wizard Train. That's a whole Harry Potter themed experience that's really fun. In the fall, we have our Pumpkin Days trains, which is a Halloween-themed thing through most of October. And then, of course, that leads up to the big North Pole Express. And all of those special events, and some others that I haven't mentioned are all advertised and available. Lots of information on our website.
Well, tell me about your favorite part of being involved with trains, with the railroad, because you didn't come from that background, but you love it, right?
Yes. The greatest part for me, and what really hooked me, is preserving this priceless Utah treasure for future generations to enjoy. So the Heber Valley Railroad is very unique, not only in Utah, but in the surrounding states. And these old historic railroads are going away all over the place. And so what I'm passionate about is not only providing a great experience for people, but preserving this for future generations so they can see what it was like, because America was built on railroads, especially the West.
What a nice thought. And speaking of that, share with me what people have said about their experience, especially when little kids get to see this. I mean, it's sad because some kids are like, what is that? I've never seen one of those, in person or up close, or to be able to ride it. What comments have you heard from families and parents?
Trains are magical creatures, and especially steam locomotives, and people just love them, and especially little kids, and particularly little boys love trains, and it happens every day here. It's really cool to see their eyes light up when that big old train comes rumbling down the tracks, and when they get to sit in the car and enjoy that nostalgic experience.
Wow. Certainly magical at that. I mean, we're in a really cool setting too. Tell me about kind of how the process works. Can you register online? Do you come here in person? You kind of wait here at the station a little bit? You have a little store inside, right?
Yes, we have a really cool depot that's historic looking, and so we have a great gift shop in there where people love to come and hang out before they ride the train. But tickets are easiest purchased online. We have a great website and online ticketing system. It's very simple to buy them from your phone. And you can also call the ticket office or just show up before. Most trains aren't sold out, but some are, so I would buy them online.
Oh, yeah. Get in on that, especially the Polar Express one that happens during Christmas. And during a lot of these, do they give out food, drinks, and stuff? Does Santa make a stop?
Yes, Santa makes a stop and rides, and every child on that train gets hot cocoa and a fresh chocolate chip cookie, and then a little gift from Santa.
Oh, that is so special, and I love that they make that part of the experience. Anything else to add about the Heber Valley Railroad and getting people out here to enjoy it?
I think one thing that's very unique also is we have this group of great gunfighters. Oh. And every Monday night and every Friday night almost, we have a gunfight that we stage before the train ride. And so right here at the depot, you get to see a good shootout.
Oh, wow. You're part of that, I'm sure, right?
Sometimes I am. Yes, I am.
Wow. Well, tell me about how many employees and all the women and men that work to make this all possible. I saw two hop on the train. Would you call them conductors? What are they?
Yeah, they were the conductors. Okay. And we had a host on board, an older fellow who just loves to talk the whole way down and tell about the history of the train. But we have just a few full-time employees, a lot of part-time and seasonal employees, and also a lot of volunteers that come and work in the shop to help us restore the steam locomotives and other cars.
Well, the fact that you have volunteers really speaks, I think, to the love that you have for the Heber Valley Railroad. So remind us where we can go online to find you and really where you're located here in the Heber Valley.
Okay, so we're in downtown Heber, and our address is 450 South, 600 West. And importantly, our website is hebervalleyrr.org.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark. A pleasure to learn a little bit more about the Heber Valley Railroad. Come out here and check it out. Such a fun experience. Like I said, iconic is really the best way to describe it, and so much fun for a date night, for your kids, get your family together, and just enjoy a great time out here. You're watching the Heber Valley Mountain Weekend Show. Stay tuned for more. You're watching Park City Television.